Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Kamen Rider Geats DX Fantasy Race Buckle. So to follow up with Tycoon obtaining his final form, Nago got hers! Regrettably so. Obviously this contention of a raised buckle was not Nagel's first, it was her dad, Yago, to which it includes his core ID and such, and he's a really weird seeker retool. But, yeah, so he's the first to have the Fantasy Raised Buckle, but obviously he ends up giving it to his daughter. Because for some reason they didn't want to give Noggle her own original raised buckle. They wanted to give her the end of the stick. So again, I still like that they do this and such. Warning and cautions and such. We have Nago and Gyago right there. I do at least appreciate that they're both different suit pictures and such. The top is traditional. It's the same as the ninja or the Shinobi Raised Buckle and the QR code for the PDF file. So again, the contents and such. So here we have the contents of this set. We have Fantasy Raised Buckle and the Gyago Core ID. I don't remember how we did these, so we're just going to do the Core ID first, just because it's cool that's included at least. Yago's core ID is really cool. I like the gold they went with. And this, I really like the metallic navy blue. It's really sharp and such. So again, there's a look at the core ID and then the design. So, like what I said before, he's a seeker retool, which is really interesting because I think they try to justify him as a bobcat, but it's like, I'm sorry, but these horns still do not come out as ears. They're clearly horns or antlers. Like, I'm not at the disbelief of how they somehow managed to shorten down his antlers and pass them off as ears. Those are antlers. But anyways, so again, he completes the quadruet, or the quartet of the Nago, or the Kuruma family, even though again Ben and John are just bodyguards. Anyways, here we have the Fantasy Buckle, and I'll be honest, I don't like it. This is just not good. I like the colors. I like this navy blue base, and the gold is really sharp and such. And I really do like the circle that's present here and such, and we got the chrome right there. But other than that, if you can't tell, this is just the Ninja Raised Buckle. Or the base of this is the Ninja Raised Buckle, which is infuriating. But to basically still continue the spell circle design from here, it's been carried over to there. And obviously they replaced the kunai with some random design. Again, so here's the Ninja Raised Buckle and such. You can tell it's the Ninja Raised Buckle by pulling these out to the point it still has the gears. This is a fanicle thing. I don't know what fanicle is. Why does it need gears? And obviously, again, they replaced the kunai with some star-esque pattern. but also so then they can change the mechanism with how this works. Obviously the back is or it's not the same, but it's similar. But just like the Shinobi Rays buckle, they still have obviously they still have the spot for the QR code, but that's no longer a thing because again, Kamen Rider is no longer a thing. And this one is 066. But as you can tell from here, because of the fact that Fantasy in the Desire Driver was not programmed to be held down and just being pressed in the Desire Driver, they actually bothered to change up the mechanism so that when you pulled it back, it actually just immediately comes out, as opposed to the Ninja Buckle, where it's a slow retraction and such. Because obviously this was programmed to be held in and then slowly let go, or gradually let go. This one obviously was not programmed like that, so they just, well, first of all, let's show off the summoning circle. I mean, at least spun well that time. But if you can see from here, as I pull it back, you can see here how it comes out immediately, but it doesn't have that gradual retraction because that's not how it was programmed. So I do at least appreciate they worked it. So then it was just simply a like in and out thing. But again, I'm at least surprised this is actually working properly, because beforehand this wasn't spinning the way it was supposed to be. Because this is like, I mean, technically, if I aim it like this is this is the momentum it's supposed to be at. But for some reason, this and the Ninja Rays buckle are struggling with like the momentums. And yeah, because basically, again, this is not a premium DX item. There's no button, and it's just, again, that's why I use the normal Ninja Rays buckle, because it's literally the same. So there's no button. No button like the Shinobi Rays buckle and such. Because I was going to say, at first, like, they took the same, like, momentum speed from the Shinobi Rays buckle and added it to here, but like now, but I'm actually having issues of trying to have the spin. But anyways, let's just use these in the Desire Driver. So obviously we will do Gyago entry. This one doesn't show up well, sadly, because it shows up as what the GM riders look like, to which is just an outer white ring of light. But this one actually does come through. It's just, I think it's too dark, or there's too much light. But anyways, we will, there goes Rita. We will transform into Gyago Fantasy. Which, for his sake, we have to grab the top and bottom and pull. So there we have Gyago Fantasy, and obviously, as you can hear, Fantasy was one of the last few pre-programmed sounds we needed and such. And because of that, we do have one finisher. And that's it for this by itself. And for fun, we can take Shield. Because this is the form he assumes in the final stage show. And at first, for some reason, they didn't follow the same logic and give him or they didn't remove his jaw piece for some reason, but luckily they fixed that. And obviously with the Nago core ID, Neon holds it from here. But with Nago, we'll use the boost buckle because of it being pre-programmed in. I apologize for that. So there we have Nago Fantasy Boost, theoretically. Obviously, I think this should have been really simple for them to have done, but no. I forgot to show off. I don't remember if I showed off how the buckles look and such, but like obviously it's the ninja buckle, so of course it's going to have the same similarities as a ninja buckle. It's just that you have the star now as opposed to a shirt or a kunai. But also, I really do like the yellow LED they have for Fantasy. And yeah, that is basically it. So because it is a pre-programmed sound, that means we actually have things to do in the Vision driver. This is going to be difficult. We just skipped through the sounds, right? I don't remember. I don't like dealing with this one. Are we hacked? Alright. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the Vision driver. It's just struggling with... So Fantasy's a ring, which I guess it's cool that they got to make this work with that, but like again, like you can tell that Fantasy was not meant to be with this mold. Magnum shooter. I really like the yellow LED here. You see this thing struggling? Geats Buster.
Fantasy Booster. Fantasy Booster. Boost tactical impact.
Cool. So my thoughts on this set, I'm fine with it. Cause for me, I'm just more really the Fantasy finally, like Fantasy actually got used in the show and such. And you know, the Yago core ID is cool. Like it's cool, always neat that they still kept the tradition of packing the pre-programmed like main buckles with a core ID and such. Again, Ninja was the exception. So, like, I like the fantasy sounds and such. Like, I'm happy that we finally got those. I just really don't like that they reused Ninja in particular, because I don't like this buckle. And it's already been established as to why the Ninja buckle is the most flawed one. So the fact they decided to reuse it for fantasy is so irritating, and especially for a power-up, obviously it's underwhelming, especially for Nago, and it puts up a bad precedence within Geats and such, because the other three main riders get their own upgraded raised buckles that have their own sounds and that are evolved forms of their previous buckles, but then Nago gets something entirely different, despite the fact that, and also it doesn't help that, it's been handed down from another rider. So I don't like. Besides that, again, like, I'm happy we finally got the fantasy sounds, and like, we do have the fantasy buckle, but like, again, because originally I think there were, up until the last minute, they were trying to figure out whether or not to give Nago fantasy or beat as her main form, and they eventually went with beat. But then they wanted to revisit fantasy to give as her final form, and I don't mind that, but I really wish that they went all out with this buckle and actually, I don't know, make it work in line with how they programmed it in the Desire driver, because the temperature's overheated. Obviously, I'm not asking for this to be a premium DX item, because again, we're getting that eventually. I just wish that this buckle didn't get hampered by the fact that it had to be a retooling of an existing buckle. It especially makes a disappointing precedent within the lineup of buckles up to this point, because Geats did a good job of not retooling buckle designs, but it's upsetting that out of all the buckles they decided to retool, it was Ninja. Because honestly, again, I knew I forgot to film something. I need to check, actually. But I think I forgot to film. I think I forgot to film the fantasy buckle by itself, like without a quality. But for the demo, because I don't do it here. But I mean, you can see it. But like, honestly, it's just like, it's kind of obvious with how this was programmed in, that like it was supposed to be like, it wasn't supposed to be. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm just like, I just don't like this mold of buckles, because like there's so much micromanaging you have to do just to make it work. But like, I don't know, it's like, out of all the things from like what the sounds it provides, I don't imagine pulling it back and having something spin. Like, I get the idea of why they have something spinning and such, but like, I don't know, I would have thought it would have been something more like elegant, or like, I don't know, I would have imagined like a harp, like a string or something, like, like strumming a harp or something for the activation, not pulling it back, because I don't think it works with what's already existing. But like, I know we can't do anything at this point. Like I've said a lot, I'm happy that fantasy at least got materialized, but I don't like the state it got materialized at.